Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to my presentation. First of all, let me thank you all for listening to me. Secondly, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Muhammad Abdul Hamid sir for giving me a chance to represent me at here. Now let me introduce myself. I am Muhammad Shariar, Department of Business Administration, first year, second semester, and my registration number is 2020731032. In my presentation, I'd like to report on two topics. One is major steps in the writing process, and another is it is impossible to be an effective communicator without credibility. In our daily life, we have to write something where we follow some rules without knowing it. The writing process looks different for everyone, but there are 5 basic steps for the writing process, including pre-writing, planning, drafting, revising, editing, and proofreading. Famous novelist Avi Yosha quoted that the most difficult and complicated part of the writing process is the beginning. In the previous slide, we mentioned that the first steps of the writing process is pre-writing. So what is pre-writing? Pre-writing is what to do before starting writing. Pre-writing helps to think about assigned topics, brainstorm, focus, and develop ideas. Without pre-writing, no one cannot make a plan because he don't know what he's going to write about. For example, my teacher gave me an assignment. So at first I write all of the topics in notepad where which should I cover on my assignment, which is the part of pre-writing. There are two steps in pre-writing. One is coming up with a topic. What does it mean? In the pre-writing steps, coming up with a topic means to generate or get an idea. In this regard, brainstorming can help to generate suitable topics or idea. The scope of generating topics depends on what types of text I have to write. For example, it can be an essay, a research paper, a thesis, or an assignment. The second step of pre-writing is researching idea. Before starting writing, we need to decide exactly what we will write about and do the necessary research. For example, my teacher told me to write an assignment based on a scenario of event management in Sylhet region. So to complete this task, I have to think about this topic, and it would be better for me if I make a draft idea about it. In this perspective, I can may take help from internet, from any newspaper or different types of article. After getting topics and doing research, the next steps is planning. In writing process, planning is the process of sorting out what the writer wants to include in his writing. A well-planned and organized essay indicates that it makes points clearly and logically. In this way, well-planned and a structured writing enables the writer to follow the points being made easily. Planning can help to organize thoughts and prioritize the way of presenting the information. Planning can help to avoid beating around the bush. After getting a clear idea of the topics, it's time to produce a full first draft. Drafting is not the main part of writing, but it is one kind of a helping hand. The first draft is never going to be perfect. The writers likely have some unnecessary paragraph, unnecessary sentence, and probably few types of grammatical mistakes. The goal at this stage is to get a draft completed, not to make everything perfect. Once the writer has a full draft in front of him, he will have a clear idea of where improvement is needed or where he should need to be changed. After drafting, it's time to check the draft to find potential areas for the improvised quality of the writing. Revising is the process of changing or improving something. In order to improve any article or writing or to make changes to it, revision can help in this regard. Revising is also known as rewriting. Many teachers and guardians say that good writing comes from strong revision. Or revision gives an opportunity to reflect on what writers have written. Editing and proofreading is the final stage of writing process. Editing focuses on local concerns like clarity and sentence structure, where proofreading involves reading the text closely to remove typos and ensure stylistic consistency. In the editing process, the text needs to be clear, concise, and grammatically correct, which means looking out for grammatical errors, ambiguous phrasing, and redundancy and repetition. In the proofreading process, we are looking out for spelling errors, missing words, confused word choices, punctuation errors, missing or excessive spaces, and typos. Finally, the procedure will end up with publishing the article. My next and last topic is it is impossible to be an effective communicator without credibility. In our day-to-day life, we need to interact with different types of people for our personal or professional issues. So to build a strong relationship with them, it is important to be an effective communicator. Communication can include verbal skills such as speech and non-verbal skills like body gesture, facial expression, and many more. An effective communicator is someone who conveys their message thoroughly and is receptive and responsive to others' input. Those who are strong communicators speak in a clear, direct manner using easily understood language. They are typically assertive with their feelings and viewpoints, but they are also open to suggestion from others. Credibility, which flows from character and competence, is one of the most essential aspects of good communication. High credibility is a tremendous asset for speakers seeking to achieve exceptional performance and positive impacts. Low credibility is devastating. So without credibility, it is impossible to be an effective communicator. Now we should know the link up between credibility and communication. Credibility and communication are closely linked. The way sender become more credible is through his communication, how he chose to interact with everyone around his contributes to his credibility as a person and a profession. So it is not a small matter to say that he need to be aware of his body language and the way he talks to and treats people. Good communication and bad communication can have wonderful and devastating effects on speakers' credibility in the workplace. But what is credibility made up of? It can contain many elements such as competency, likability as an individual, self-awareness, ability to manage expectations, experience, and qualification. Credibility isn't easy to measure, and it's even harder to define. It is also to earn and very easy to lose. Sorry, it is also difficult to earn, very easy to lose. All we can do is to take care of the factors under our control, such as 5 points noted before. If we commit to excellence and continuous self-improvement in these areas, we will be a long way down the path of establishing ourselves as credible individuals, whether we stand in our company. Now there is a question: why does credibility matter in communication? Credibility is one of the building blocks of success for many people. Speaker's credibility come into play when pitches an idea to a receiver and he considers it and decides to let the sender conduct the product or the project. Credibility is not just about having more or better qualification than others. It's having passion, honesty, and integrity in what he does. For example, if scientist provides any theory regarding the poultry industry, people no longer have any doubt or fear about the criticism that is going on about poultry. That's when the credibility of the scientist that plays an important role in public opinion. The result can either be positive or be negative. So it is impossible to be an effective communication without credibility. I'm now nearing the end of my presentation. Thanks to everyone.